Hi.
How's it going? Welcome to Boys Club Live. Ish. We're doing a playback here, but so happy that you're here listening to us. We have a great show for you.
Really great show. We had some great guests. We recorded this earlier today, and then we're streaming it now. And 4 guests, all with a vast knowledge in different parts of the internet.
Different corners of the world, I'd say. We start the show with Daniel Kolitz, who is a writer and investigative journalist. He wrote the viral Goon Squad report. That is
shocking.
Upsetting
and shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking and
shocking
upsetting.
Beast. But also funny. I mean, he's incredible
great.
writer. So
really incredible writer.
Really incredible writer. And there's moments in it where I genuinely laughed out loud. There's other moments in it where it was a full existential crisis
throughout
spiral. Yeah. So anyway, he came through, and
a few notes on this piece. Disclaimers. One, it is extremely explicit. Trigger warning. It's about masturbation and pornography and young men
in distress,
in need of some assistance. And if you are under 18, you should not be listening to
Absolutely not.
And if you are related to me in any capacity, like a mother or father or sister, also maybe not for you. So you can skip right on
Hit
that.
the fast forward button for that one.
But I just want to say the reason why we thought it was useful to have him on is, one, it took over my timeline. It took over yours. So
everyone was talking about it.
Everybody. And then second, I think he even sort of mentions this in the interview, is that it's reflective of our time and what it's like for some people to be online in the moment. And it's scary and important to be like eyes wide open on what's happening.
Yeah, it's something that's really hard to look at, but I think you kind of have to.
I wanted to Venmo charge him for my therapist session that I then needed after. Okay, so that's our first guest. And then who's next?
Gretchen Andrew, who is an artist, incredibly wonderful soul.
Yes, wonderful
beautiful person. She is an artist she's at that intersection.
Right there.
Juicy intersection.
Art and technology.
She is right there. She has pieces in the Whitney, which now I know what that means, which is incredibly
in their permanent collection.
Collection, which is, I understand, to be quite the feat, and has a really fascinating story and perspective on, I don't know, again, sort of our times. It's kind of a conversation about our times and the algorithm and beauty standards, and her art speaks to that. So she's wonderful.
Loved having her on.
Really loved that conversation. And then we had on Bunny, who we also love, and you'll know from the internet, and
director of Nitro at
Racer.fun.
They are launching a crypto native game on Thursday. We scooped it here. First time ever.
There's some alpha in this interview that, yes, I believe it's the first time that we have any alpha on this podcast.
And really fun interview. He's so great. And anyway, if you want to learn about the game that's launching this week, give it a listen. I'll be there. I'll be doing it.
I'm going to be doing it too. It's I don't know. It's not a racing game, but it's not a racing game. It's a meme coin game.
It's a meme coin game.
Solana.
It's a market cap game.
It's a market cap game on Solana. So anyway, stick around for that because it's super interesting, and we're going to both be playing. And then finally, very thoughtful conversation with Mina Fahmi, who's the founder at Sandbar, an interface company, AI wearable ring.
Yes, and interface
gorgeous.
Gorgina.
Yes.
I love it. I really loved the conversation with him, and something that you and I have talked about post interview is that he is really intellectual, and I come across people who work in tech and are intellectual. It's a long day. Intellectual a lot, and oftentimes I'm like, that's so cool, but where does that meet? Like, honestly, like capitalism and like making money and
and also the real world, people using it that aren't like in the tech bubble.
Yes. And it was so clear to me that his thinking and like thoughtfulness around the way in which people move around the world and talk to each other and talk to devices, that like someone like him is who needs to be designing these types of interfaces.
Totally.
I
totally agree.
really enjoyed that.
Really enjoyed that. So that's the show. A quick note from our sponsors. First of all, Polygon. Thank you so much for supporting this stream and podcast. If you've touched crypto in any way, chances are you've already used Polygon. It's the chain quietly powering a bunch of stuff that actually works, that people actually use, like Stripe's crypto payments, betting on poly markets, prediction markets, and a bunch more. We're going to be with Polygon next week at their full day summit in DevConnect.
In and at
DevConnect in Buenos Aires.
Is DevConnect in the room with us?
Yes, it is actually. And it's going to be on the 18th of November. And it's a full day of programming.
Called Money Rails.
Folks from MasterCard, Visa, Ripio, Polygon, Sandeep, and Mark, the CEO of Polygon, are going to be there. Boys Club.
We'll be live streaming from there.
We will be live streaming from there.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be in DevConnect and you want to yap, come through.
We love Polygon.
We do. We really do.
We're also throwing a party. Do we want to get into that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. We are throwing, if there's anywhere to be, evening of December 18th in Buenos Aires,
November
Argentina.
18th. November 18th.
Yep, that one too. November 18th. It is at Hard Launch Party by Boys Club with our friends at Pod Network and Polygon. It's going to be a really fun time. I love to throw a party.
You do love to throw a party. Evening of November 18th. We're going to be doing it with our party pals also at Privy and Blockade, both great orgs. And yeah, we're going to have a great time.
I have to tell you. And by you, I mean the greater you. One. Just sign up now.
RSVP now. Yeah. Space is limited. So get on the list now and don't mess around.
Don't be stupid.
Just get on the list. Keep it simple. Plan ahead. RSVP.
Be a grown up.
Totally. So
okay, that is all we have. That's the housekeeping.
Just one more shout out to BitKey.
Yes.
Our final sponsor here. We love BitKey. BitKey is a Bitcoin hardware wallet. It's very beautifully designed. Go to bitkey.world, use promo code BoysClub20 if you are so inclined, and we hope you are. It is from the makers of Square. It's a block production. Jack Dorsey's joint.
Yes.
Square, Cash App, very serious people doing very serious things, including now doing a hardware wallet that is gorgeous and also has this cool functionality. Yeah, an innovation around how it works, which basically makes it a lot easier. And it's like fingertip activated and very cool stuff. So that's BitKey. We love them too, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Thanks so much.
Daniel Kolitz, a writer and investigative journalist. We're going to be discussing your most recent mega viral report, The Goon Squad, which was published in Harper's Magazine. I have to say, equal parts horrifying and fascinating.
Big time.
Because it was the aim, more or less.
You nailed it.
Successful.
You nailed it. Okay, let's start by you telling us about your piece.
Sure. So the Goon Squad is sort of a, as you said, an investigation into a very particular subculture of guys that love to masturbate. They love to masturbate a lot. They don't just love to masturbate, they love to masturbate together in highly ritualized ways in kind of Discord servers. Discord seems to be the place to be this year if you want to kill prominent figures or masturbate with your friends, things of that nature. And fundamentally, gooning as an act is about reaching the goon state, which is kind of like a masturbation nirvana that you can reach if you're concentratedly masturbating for hours or days at a time. But again, the communal aspect is very important here. There are all these discords, Goon Sluts, the Goonverse, Goon Gardens. I was mostly hanging out in the Goonverse where guys trade porn, play porn games, masturbate together on stream. And it is this whole thriving community, I would say largely Gen Z centered, but people of all ages, 40s, 50s, 60s. I think
70-year-olds,
I think I think I saw 70-something as well. I mean, they might be lying. You don't know.
Right.
But yeah, you know, had been aware of the concept of gooning. I don't think I realized that it was this whole ritualized practice. But a couple, I guess it would have been a year and like 3 months ago now, I decided to dive into what was going on there and learned a lot. Yeah.
My experience of your piece was I saw it going viral on Twitter. I saw people talking about it. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. I've heard of this concept before socially. And then I started reading it. And then I sent it to like 3 or 4 of my mom friends who have boys. And I was like, really, like, you need to read this to understand what's happening with like young men right now, essentially. And then I got halfway through it and I said, maybe you actually don't need to read this and just keep your kids off the internet. Like that was my feeling around it. But I do think like your piece did a really good job of not like moralizing. Like it was very well written. It was very clear that there are some very dark corners of this. And I have my own personal feelings about what this means for society and men. But I think you did a good job of not being like really pearl clutching about it. And just saying like, this is what's happening. And these are the corners and like the facets of this thing that's really taken hold to a subset of men online.
Yeah. I mean, that was my ambition. I didn't want to be apocalyptic. I don't think this is the worst thing that could be happening. I mean, it probably doesn't bespeak, too many good things for society in some ways, but when I was in the thick of it, I was just like, I was just genuinely fascinated by what was going on there. I mean, this is an extremely bizarre and also extremely complex world with all these sorts of like codes and art forms and like structures and just figuring out like how it worked, unpacking it as if I was someone in the community. That was sort of like fun enough for me that I wasn't even, at a certain point I forgot that this was sort of unusual in any way because I was so kind of immersed in it.
That's so normalized to
Yeah,
you.
genuinely.
How long were you in the trenches?
In the good.
The whole process start to finish was like a little more than a year. As far as like really in there daily watching 5-6 hours of porn a day with my Gooner friends. I mean, that was like maybe 4 or 5 months. And the writing period was 2 or 3 months. But I mean, I was clocking into the pornography factory every day. I was waking up and I was watching my PMVs, porn music videos, and talking to my porn friends and, wank battling on occasion. I mean, just, really.
You were in
as you do.
As one does. As a goon does.
And do you feel changed by that experience?
Do I feel changed by that experience? I mean, I definitely maybe have a clearer idea of what goes on in certain parts of the internet. Me personally, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say I was unfazed by it. And there were definitely parts of the reporting where I was like despairing. And that was really on learning some of the truly dark sides of this culture. But, mostly, and maybe this is like, the guilty sort of like safari reporter thing. I was mostly just excited to be in touch with what seemed to me like the leading edge of whatever this present moment is, like this felt like now to me. And I'm a guy that's mostly reading in my room. I'm not even that long, like online, to be honest.
Oh, really? Wow.
No,
okay.
I mean, I'm online. I know what's happening in like media Twitter discourse, but I don't like use TikTok. I don't pay attention to reels or whatever. So to be able to kind of immerse myself as kind of a Luddite in like the hyper moment, felt, I don't know, exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so this piece comes out. Everybody's talking about it on Twitter. What was the reaction? What was your experience as the writer of this thing? Because it was polarizing. That was my experience.
It was polarizing. I mean, I would say like, it was largely positive, but the serious negative stuff that existed. On the one hand, it was like, why everyone should be nice to me. Why are they saying mean things about my article? On the other hand, it's like flattering, honestly, genuinely. Like I was watching a TikTok the other day, 2 days ago, that had like a bunch of likes about someone really going in on the article. And I was just flattered that it had generated this much discourse. B, I found this person have a very disquieting affect. I thought he was weird. And so if you got to have haters, it's good to have them,
strange.
be sort of strange. But no, I mean,
Was he as a representative of the Gooner community? Like, saying
No,
this
well,
is
he
Steve
looked like it. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, no, so I shouldn't say that. I don't think any Gooner looks any particular kind of way. I mean that. I think they look all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there were some lines of attack or whatever that made me rethink what I'd done, and I thought maybe were valid. There was stuff that I thought was ridiculous. I didn't think that I had thought, in a sense, that I'd written a rhetorically airtight piece in the sense that come out against it. You have to be like, I think it's good to masturbate for 9 hours a day, and I didn't think anyone would want to put themselves in that position. But it did turn out to be a big contingent of sort of Gooner defenders, and I'm not. But the ironic thing is, I'm not a Gooner decrier. The way that I structured the piece. I mean, there are definitely moments of like horror, and there are moments of like despair about certain aspects of the culture. But I certainly did not go in there with the intention of, I don't know, ridiculing.
Is the
people.
defender take like to each their own? If
I would say it's a to each their own line.
Okay,
Yeah.
I fully. It will come out as I think this is bad for society.
Yeah, I don't think
people
it's great.
should not be doing this.
I'm sort of now warier of like expressing a direct opinion. I mean, I'd never been the subject of discourse before, genuinely.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was a little bit traumatizing. I mean, it's clearly I don't know if it's like. I'm not putting a moral valence on it, right? I think it is bad just from the perspective of like how one spends one's limited time on Earth. And it's the ironic thing is that I've heard from many Gooners who were perfectly happy, very happy with the way they've been represented, and the whole part of the Gooner kink, to the extent that it's a kink, and I think they perceive it as such, is like I am doing something bad that no one should be doing.
Yeah, I actually want to talk to you about this because when you're watching a video and you're like. It's like a weird video and you're like, you don't do Reels or TikTok, but occasionally you'll swipe into a video.
Oh, I've seen, and you're like, say I've seen plenty of videos.
Great. Yeah. You have that experience where you swipe in and you're like, this is kind of weird and off. And then you're like, oh, this is fetish content. And it could be it can be anything, honestly. Anything can honestly take a turn and go towards like kinky, fetishy content. And part of me has been wondering in reflection on like the humiliation seems to be really embedded in the fabric of the Gooner culture. And part of it is like, is your article like playing into some weird fetish? And like this, did that come up for you at all?
No, because here's the thing. Okay, so people have pointed out like, oh, you're giving the Gooners what they want. They want to be humiliated and it's going to get them off. I think that is not giving the Gooners enough credit as rounded human beings. I mean, they can have sort of like sex lives, solo sex lives, but it's not that when I was speaking to them, they were like in a state of erotic frenzy and they were like trying to get my disapproval for erotic means. I mean, these were people that were just talking to me in a very sort of straightforward way about their lives and their jobs and their hopes and aspirations. And, gooning happens to be a part of those lives, but I think, I don't know. I don't think it's that. That kind of the connection I don't think would be made in that way. Okay, I don't think that I'm helping the Gooners get off. Now I have seen the article repurposed into pornographic memes and sort of like pornographic I don't know if it's fanfic or
so not no.
I guess not fully no, but the article itself in a realistic sense. I mean, yes, the article is being repurposed.
But at this point, after reading your article, I'm like, what can't be repurposed?
Anything can be turned into porn. I mean, that's the whole embed. And they dream of Times Square filled with pornography and all the billboards. That's not even a joke. That is part of the culture. Is like at its furthest extreme, the kink is like a world that has been completely pornified.
Oh my god!
In which you cannot walk down the street without encountering people. I mean that is the idea. Is like porn universe.
Okay.
So.
This is. Porn universe is so hilarious. Okay, this is my I guess take on it. I read it and I got to the end and I fully was like, I'm fully spiraling. I think that this is.
You talked to your therapist about it.
I know. Literally, I went into my therapist's office.
You're not the only one who's told me.
I was like, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, are you familiar with the Goon Squad piece? And she was like, I am not. You teach me so much. And I was like, no. And anyway, I was like, I feel as though I'm reading something and I am genuinely wanting to be someone who can hear so many types of experiences of being on this planet and have openness and empathy for all humanity. Having said that, I was like, this is like where you take this porn universe, the end of this whole situation is the end of humanity, in my opinion. And I'm like thinking about my first exposure to goon behavior was I had a friend, a male friend, who is Gen Z, who would call himself maybe like goon adjacent. And which I don't know how you would feel about this. And I told him I'm having this, I was talking about my dating life and I was like, I'm having this was a while back. And I was like, I'm having this weird experience where I'm matching with men on Hinge or Raya or whatever, or chatting. They follow me on Instagram and then I never hear from them again. But they watch all my stories. What is that? And he was like, that's goon behavior. And I was like, what's goon behavior? This was a year ago. Then I read your article. Then similar timing, I was on a plane and I watched Eat, Pray, Love. Great film.
I don't remember any Gooner content.
No, I'm gonna tie it all back. Don't you worry. And there's this moment where Julia Roberts has this friend who she makes friends with in Italy, and they go to Naples and they have this perfect pizza, and her friend only has one slice, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I've gained weight. I can't eat this whole pizza. I need to like cut back." And Julia Roberts goes on this whole monologue about, have you ever been in a bedroom naked with a man and he turns you down? And the woman's like, no. And she was like, yeah, of course. He's hit the jackpot. He's in a bedroom with a naked woman. And as I was watching this, I was thinking, this sentiment no longer works because men all over the world are in bed, in their bedrooms with naked women for like unending, in your article, unending amount of pornography. And so the end of this is the end of humanity.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if there's any silver lining of hope, I think that most people in the Julia Roberts scenario you're describing, most men, I think that,
most men.
Not all men. Not all men.
I would think it's a minority, but it's a significant minority of guys who are, I don't know, giving up on real life contact. And, some of them aren't even doing it because they have porn. I mean, a lot of people, as we know, as we read in op-eds and as I've seen in my own personal life, are staying in because they're playing video games, or staying in because, losing sex drive through any number of sort of modern interventions. And so I think porn is one part of it, but there is like a mass retreat away from what I would think of as healthful, fun, socializing and things of that nature.
Yeah, I feel like you see on Twitter or on X the birth rate, constantly birth rate charts. Constantly people are pushing out. I mean, even Elon himself, it's like birth rates in decline. It's in falling, skyrocketing in the bad way. For a while, I was like, whatever. You guys are being like reactionary and like this is, I don't know, some weird MAGA thing that I'm not going to subscribe to this discourse. But after reading your piece, I was like, well,
it is factual. I mean,
actually, I know, but like you can make facts look any kind of way. So that's sort of always the perspective I have when I would see those statistics charts. But I don't know. Now I'm like, I kind of see how
what's happening.
Yeah,
and of course, there's a whole confluence of reasons, and it's not all gooning, but it doesn't help.
No,
it doesn't help, and it's like, especially that it seems to be driven by a younger generation is the part that feels the most concerning, because it's not like, I don't know, a bunch of like, I don't know. It feels like that's something that only gains momentum.
Okay, I have two questions for you.
Yeah, please.
What I couldn't get from this is like, what is the scale?
That's a very good question. I mean, you go into like a Discord like that owned by Noodle Dude, the king of the porn music videos, has about 100,000 people in there. If we say only half of them are active gooners and half are just PMV fans, but that would just be one. There's like dozens of these servers. I mean, we'd have to distinguish, right? People who are dipping in and out of goon culture, who are maybe gooning once a month. How many of that are
Goon adjacent?
Goon adjacent. I'm sure there's a huge number of Goon adjacent people, I mean, if we're talking about the hardcore community, the people that are wank battling and feeding each other pornography and, you know, masturbating on stream, it's hard to say, but there's a ton of them. I mean, that, you know, a ton to the point that like you can go into these servers and just like never see the same names twice, and there's just like a constant churn, and it is global. I mean, you know,
Totally.
most people I spoke to were like, you know, Western Europe, US, but it's all over. It's all over the
any
world.
women?
Not really. I don't.
Okay.
So no.
You didn't encounter any.
That is, no. Yeah.
You didn't encounter any in your travels.
Not really. No.
Okay, and then my other question for you is, what was my other question for you? The scale, and then, fuck,
No worries.
it's gonna come back to me.
It's gonna come back to you. So what's next?
What's next?
Yeah. What happens next? Where do we go from here?
Idea. I was so sort of immersed in this thing. I mean, the way that I kind of write things like this is like, I don't walk down the street and like have an idea. I have to like go out and find an idea, and I found the Gooning thing and just gave it my all for a long time.
Yeah.
But probably some kind of piece of writing. That's what's next.
Okay.
And, longer, probably. Maybe a book. We'll see. I don't know.
About Gooning?
Not a
No.
Gooner book.
Probably not a Gooner book.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if the market.
Oh, I
would
remember
really,
my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This to me, I read this and I think, like male loneliness epidemic. Like it's just so obvious to me that they
Yeah.
want to like be connected. It's also, there's like so much homoerotic, and like you kind of speak to this, but I'm just like, this, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, a lot of these are genuinely lonely men.
Yeah.
And you can have in these Gooning spaces a certain kind of camaraderie, you know, it's a kind of juvenile camaraderie. It's a kind of like limited prescribed camaraderie. You're not having real conversations. You're just sort of talking about your favorite porn. But having, you know, as I sort of allude to or write about a bit in the article, try to engage in this kind of stuff myself, what I did notice when I was, you know, interacting was a guy named Cum Dumpster, someone named Feed Bitch, and you know, I was talking to them, and I'd never actually like, so I interacted in the capacity as a journalist, right? I'd say, hey, I'm from Harper's Magazine, I'm writing this piece, but I'd never just said like, hey, I'm another Gooner, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And the people did seem very real to me in a way that I wasn't expecting, just, you know, as another person, as a living presence on the side of the screen. So I could see how, you know, that can satisfy some real need for friendship. I don't think that's good. That is where people are finding, you know, that kind of sucker connection. But it is definitely, you know, simply one facet of what is clearly a massive loneliness crisis that has all kinds of causes and all kinds of solutions. I mean, again, you know, I think video games, I sound like I'm 90 years old when I talk about video games, but I hate them. I hate them. And you know what? I'm going to call out two friends of mine right now, a friend named Connor, a friend named Ben.
Ben and Connor, shout out.
Yeah, and they're losers. They're gaming constantly. They're not losers. They're wonderful guys, but they're constantly gaming and they're never going out. And you know, I have no respect for you know. But I love my friends. These are my two buddies. I love these guys, but I think that there is just such a turn away. I mean, I love hanging out. There's nothing I love. My life is so thickly peopled and rich with sort of like encounter, and I'm so continually disgusted by. I mean, I hope Ben and Connor never hear this. I mean, I say this to them, you know. But I'm so disgusted by this just retreat inwards, and I understand that people are anxious that it's not that easy to, I don't know,
be with other people.
Be with other people sometimes, but. You gotta. And some people are more inclined towards it than others. I mean, I understand that I just have some kind of wiring that makes me want to seek out the company of other people. But I think also it's the kind of thing that if you do it, the more you do it, the easier it becomes to do. And conversely, the less you do it, the harder it becomes to do. And I think that also applies certainly to dating in this kind of Gooning context where, you know, the longer you go without like trying to connect with, you know, a woman or whatever, the more daunting and like, difficult the prospect becomes, to the point that it really does become easier to sink deeper and deeper into
something
the porn
else.
universe, as we were discussing. Yeah.
Wow, Daniel. Well, thank you for your service and your willingness to
Happy to
do this work. to educate us all. And you're great at this. You were all, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 out of 10. Thank you for coming on.
Gretchen, Andrew, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Wow, how to follow that, right?
I should have warned you. I really should have warned you.
No, it's okay. I definitely read a little bit about it ahead of time,
Okay.
but I need to read the full report.
You need
clearly.
you need to, yeah. I will say it's
Upsetting.
upsetting. It's hard to get through, but it's really well done, really well written, and there's moments of levity in it and funniness, and he manages to keep it really interesting. And so, yeah, I really recommend a full read.
Okay, I'm excited to talk about your work. Quick introduction here. You're an artist. You use painting, code, digital intervention to hack systems of power and visual culture. You are highly regarded. You've been covered in all of the big publications, Artforum, Vogue, The Washington Post, Financial Times, Los Angeles Times. The list goes on. You've shown all over the world, and recently the Whitney Museum acquired 2 of your paintings in its permanent collection.
Wow.
That's huge. So a lot to talk about. So happy to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I want to start really with your story because I think it speaks a lot into the work that you are currently doing and sort of what you're excited to talk about. But you started your career at Google, you left, now you're an artist. How did that all happen?
Yeah, well, I had what was supposedly a very good job, and I was unhappy in it. And I so believed in technology as a tool of personal transformation, of betterment, but was seeing it used to manipulate our attention, sell us things we don't need, a lot of false promises from Silicon Valley. And I said, okay, no, like I'm just out of university. I'm not ready to just have a job. I don't want a work-life balance. I want a life's work. I'm going to use the internet to make me into an artist. I had no skills, no connection, no funding, just was like, I think YouTube and everything else online can get me there.
Mm-hmm.
And you did it.
Here we are in the Whitney.
Okay, so tell me, fill in the blanks a little bit in that story.
Yeah, so I quit my job. I had $5,000 savings. I moved into my art studio illegally. I got a membership to 24-hour fitness to shower. And I just started watching YouTube videos, how to draw hands, how to paint clouds. I took online courses for free. I spent time in studios with artists anytime I could find one who would let me be there. And over time, it really merged into a combination of like tech bro hustle plus developing real skills. And I think also, honestly, just like a lot of therapy and awareness, which is also another set of skills you can learn, not entirely online, but there are opportunities to look at what we're doing in any regard and say, this is whose opinion I trust, and they don't think this is good enough. And I think that's one of the big things that holds a lot of artists back, is finding the people where they can learn that awareness and that skills at the right time before they feel like their like artistic vision is being, infringed upon.
Mm. So where you did all this incredible work and you formed yourself as an artist, where are you today? Like what type of art are you working with and like find meaning in?
Yeah, so I'm working on what's called Facetune portraits, which is what the Whitney just acquired. And what these are portraits that show the invisible scars of social media filters. What I do is I take AI-driven beauty standards that are perpetuated through face tuning and Instagram and our cell phone cameras. And usually these filters are applied as digital modifications that are invisible. But I make that process physical using paint, robotics, and materialize those changes in a way where they become marks and scars. And we can see the contrast between who we are and who AI says we should be.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so part of what, as you created these, there's like robotics involved in the creation of these, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, the robots essentially apply the filter. So we have this special printer. It's a lot like, have you ever had a photo printed on a birthday cake?
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, not for me, but I know the concept.
You know the concept. Well, next time we'll have to do that next birthday. It's very special. So I work with a company called Matter Labs, and they have a special printer that basically does the same thing in oil paint, where there's a layer of white paint the frosting, and then the photograph gets printed on top of it. A lot of Web3 artists will use this to break into a physical market. Why I love it is because it gives me a wet, painty photograph that I then give to this robot, this next robot, and it applies these filters. It looks at the difference between our bodies and the filtered body, our face and the filtered face. But instead of invisibly moving pixels, it makes marks and scars and drags paint around. So they become these somewhat absurd, grotesque portraits that are violated by the algorithm, that are violated by the robot. And the robot, it does feel very violent. The robot's kind of carving up, making the boobs bigger and the lips bigger and, all of that.
And this series, a lot of it has been sort of rooted in like, what's it called? Beauty pageants? Like, is that true? Okay.
Yeah, so I've been working with the Miss Universe contestants.
Okay.
And they are absurdly beautiful. They are from all over the world. And they should look different. Miss Jamaica should not have the same body as Miss Philippines, who should not have the same eyes as Miss Finland, who should not have the same arms as, Miss Venezuela. But not only are these beauty standards creating a physically impossible aspiration, we and young people are looking at images online of faces and bodies that literally do not exist all day now. They are also homogenizing and compressing all of human diversity into a single look. There have always been beauty standards, but never before has there been a single international beauty standard that is a patchwork of, it's not just Western, it's like, you're supposed to have like a tiny, tiny waist and a huge ass and big boobs and huge lips and the eyes of an anime character. And it's increasingly becoming clear that this standard is being created not just by AI, not just by algorithms, but by the amount of time we spend on screens looking at each other in 2 dimensions. So many of these changes are driven by the fact that when we have a screen, we're flat. And we're trying to convey, whether it's on Zoom or on Instagram, that we do have a 3rd dimension. So for men, this materializes in a certain jaw that all these manosphere influencers and YouTubers and increasingly tech bros in Silicon Valley getting facelifts are trying to look more like what they expect themselves to look, but on Zoom or on Instagram or on YouTube. And the female lips is like a very similar thing where from the front, big lips are desirable, but from the side, they, if you get them too big, they create this duck lip thing. And we've deprioritized the side view because it doesn't matter on Zoom.
Sad. It's depressing.
A lot of parallels to what Daniel was talking about.
Really, a lot of parallels.
You're like on this sort of other side of the spectrum for, or the other side of the coin, I guess, for
like visual representation of women, basically.
Yeah.
But I do want to say not just women. My new series is looking at men. I'm using soldiers instead of beauty pageant contestants. And this is not the gender equality I wanted, judging men based on how they look instead of what they do. For women, this has been an ancient practice, but men are increasingly under this pressure as well. And there's just a Wall Street Journal article, facelifts among tech pros are up 50%.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And so it's, in a certain way, there's increased validity to the conversation because it is impacting men, just because, it is definitely touching the epidemic of male loneliness, the desire to belong, these ideas of expectations around what it means to be a man and how feminine power has demasculated a lot of men. And I do think they're very connected conversations.
Yeah, I agree. I think also sort of ties into something else we've been talking a lot about and just reading about at Boys Club is like the Chinese peptide trend and look maxing. And like now this sort of the way that like what the rebranding of really like cosmetic modification and beauty standards that women have been doing forever, or at least as long as I've been alive, is like how wellness has been rebranded as longevity. I feel like cosmetics and sort of beauty has been rebranded as like biohacking and Chinese peptide usage. And it's all sort of connected, I feel like, to this conversation as well.
Oh, I think that's so insightful. The desire to I think one of the things you're getting at there is like, it's being sold to us, and not just as an idea, as an actual series of products we can buy. And Tina Fey in her book Bossy Pants.
Oh my gosh, I was going to bring this up. I think I know what you're talking about. Go for it.
So Tina Fey in her book Bossy Pants, which is like at least a decade old at this point, she talks about how she's like, when I grew up, if you weren't pretty, that was it. You were just not pretty, and you developed a personality. But now you're expected to do something about it. And you're expected to buy the lip fillers and get the facials and do the Ozempic. And there's this faux sense of agency around the consumer choice with beauty here, and an association of poverty or laziness or like lack of like aspirational culture if you're not making these changes. And I love to ask men how much they think lip fillers cost, because I have not gotten an estimate over $75.
Wait, are you for real? Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
whoa.
And like what? Like $350, $500, right? Like for a month or something. Like I
Wow, that's really interesting. It's like when you ask like a really famous person, like, how much does a milk carton cost?
Exactly.
And they're like, I don't know, $13. And you're like, okay, like totally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think there's such an opportunity cost, like a literal one, and one that shows a lot about portraits have always shown what a culture values. Sometimes historically portraits, the person has a lot of papers and receipts and jewels because they're trying to show that they're rich and busy. And it's just like our Instagrams. What I see in the desire to have this particular face, this particular body, is not just a desire to be beautiful, but a fear of standing out and a fear of being an individual. And in collectivist cultures like China, there's a longer history of, yes, of course, like when I lived in Japan, I'll never forget my first Halloween in Japan, where 45 friends would buy the same store-bought costume and all wear the exact same store-bought costume.
Oh, wow.
And it's wild walking around
That's
Shinjuku.
crazy.
And that's something in the West that we would, never do. But that's what we're doing with our faces and our bodies. We're literally commodifying ourselves. And I think that there's a lot of fear of individuality, a fear of standing out that I'm seeing within this. So I don't even think of it as a beauty standard. I think of it as a standard.
Like assimilating almost to
Exactly.
the culture. Wow.
I feel like part of when I feel like I've spent too much time in the algorithm or on a screen, and I'm starting to get like, algorithmically pushed facelift content or upper blef, like I will get deep into a rabbit hole around cosmetic like very invasive cosmetic surgeries, because that's what I spend time on, and that's what I'm like watching because I've been nudged in that direction. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, you know the meme that's like Shaq going pause. It's like pause. How did I get here to like actually considering upper blef surgery, which is fine if you want to get it, but there's
invasive.
like it's invasive. It's like a surgery, and it's entirely pinned to my media diet and entirely pinned to how much time I'm spending on a screen. And when I like touch grass, when I get offline and when I'm off it, I'm fine about the way I look. But as soon as I'm in the feed around it, I'm all of a sudden not. But then I'm like, I like the way I look, like, and that's okay. But that's such a radical concept right now to be like, I'm fine. I love the way I look, actually. Like that's a radical act. And it's driven by this like algorithmic nudging that is crazy.
Yeah, and so I don't want to introduce any shame into this conversation.
Totally.
By
the way, I still might get an upper blef and the facelift, so that might be coming. But
Big reveal. Coming soon.
I always say that our appearance should reflect our love of self. And if we're doing something out of self-love or fun, but if we're doing it out of insecurity, it's usually not the end of the story.
Totally.
And a lot of these procedures that are driven by these AI standards throw things off pretty quickly. So as soon as you get one thing done, you have to get the next thing done, the next thing done. And I think it's interesting the way that plastic surgery, so a lot of people come with these apps to plastic surgeons and say, make me look like this. And even aside from the app, like, right, we're talking about when you see yourself on Zoom, you look different. If you take the same photo with the new iPhone, the old iPhone, the old Android, a regular DSL camera, a Polaroid camera, you will look completely different because all cameras are making algorithmic choices. And there is no such thing as neutral in this. But when the new iPhone camera comes out and we're like, oh, it's so much better, a lot of what's changing is the algorithm about how it treats our face and body. Because like we have had an iPhone for a decade that can make a billboard size photo. Like it's not the pixel quality that's getting better here. It's that our expectations of how we want to look in that image are more in line and more in line. And so it's not even this thing of like, oh, I don't filter, oh, I don't get lip fillers, oh, I don't. It's like, it's pervasive, it is unavoidable, and it changes the idea of how we think we're supposed to look, even when we're aware that it's going on.
Yeah. Wow. I love this. We have a few minutes left, so I do want to talk about, you talk and write about sort of like hacking systems of power. Can you expand on this? Like when I imagine hacking, I'm thinking of like, North Korean spy, like deploying phishing schemes on like wallets and things like that. How are you using hacking as sort of like a medium in your work?
So my passion is around making technologies visible, and so that we can see both its vulnerabilities, its absurdity, and maybe take a little bit more of power back from it. The Facetune series is about like, let's see these modifications. But my big series before that was around manipulating Google search results. And so I was able to change the search results for the 2020 presidential election on Google. And I do not have a troll farm or an association with North Korea. I just had an understanding of how the internet works and how it doesn't work. I did all of this through basically like thinking about how we think about language and how tech thinks about language. And the issue with Google, AI, everything, one of the issues is that we've built large language models and the entire internet and search before that on language. And language itself, if you're like me and you love literature and poetry and post-structuralism, language itself is unreliable and difficult and there's slippage. And even when we're trying to communicate in the same language and we want to talk about the same thing, it's not perfect. And that's both beautiful and has a lot of opportunity for like you don't need a troll farm to hack language and AI. What you need is just to understand the difference in how words can be treated. And particularly I was looking at how when I say what I want to you, you know I don't have it yet. But through Google, through AI, I was just building relevance. And it compressed all of human experience into relevance. And so when people saw my work come up as the top search results during the presidential election on Google, I wanted them to be like, wait a minute, if she can do that, we are fucked.
Yeah.
Like, how is anything else getting here and why should I trust it?
Incredible stuff. Gretchen, what's next?
I have some Facetune portraits going to Art Basel Miami at the Untitled Art Fair.
Amazing.
So do stop by the Heft booth at Untitled. I will be there. I'd love to hear people's opinion on this.
Great.
And I do want to hear from more men because I am going down that rabbit hole right now and it is deep.
You should talk to Daniel.
I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
for having
Gretchen.
me.
Bunny's here.
Hello.
Okay, you're gonna need to pull this mic in.
Wow, we have a prop.
We have a prop. We have a couple props actually.
Oh, we have a
Can you
couple
can you
props.
move the mic closer to you? Sorry, just
yes,
so
I
we
will
can make
put
sure.
it. Can I bring the third prop real quick?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
bring third prop.
Okay, I'll bring the third prop.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Director of Nitro at Racer.fun. Great. I saw a lot of Racer guys on the timeline.
There's been a lot of racing these days.
Everyone's racing.
Everybody's racing?
Yeah, racism is over, but racing is
Racing's
back.
so in right now.
Racing is very in right now. This is the third prop that is just a gift.
Oh,
In case any of you
thank
like
you.
Ferrero
Wow, a
Rocher.
treat. We love a treat. We're big on
Exactly.
treats.
Yeah.
Thank
Who
you.
doesn't?
Okay, so tell us what is Racer.fun?
Racer.fun is a PvP multiplayer game racing game on Solana.
Okay.
And you're going to be able to this is the first time that we're talking about this live, actually.
Oh my gosh.
We've been very super secretive about
Oh
it.
my gosh.
It's been very
is
stealth.
this
It's
a
actually-
scoop?
It is a genuine scoop.
Oh my gosh,
Wow, exciting scoops.
Bankless wrote about it today, but they didn't put anything that they put only the stuff that we said publicly. So
Okay.
this is
Okay.
a more
Oh,
of a scoop.
Thanks
Oh,
for
let's go.
let's hey.
There you go.
Thank you for doing it
I'm
here.
sorry, David. We'll give.
It's okay. He's like climbing
He's
somewhere in
fine.
Argentina.
He's
good.
fine.
Yeah, he's
They're
chilling.
fine.
He's chilling in Buenos Aires. Okay, so Racer.fun is a PvP multiplayer racing game on Solana. We're gonna let people create teams. The team leaders are gonna. They're incentivized to rally people behind them. Every single team is a car. The market cap of the team decides how fast the car goes.
Okay.
The first team, top 4 cars on every single day get on the race for 1 hour. If you make it to the finish line, you win the Solana Grand Prix prize pool. So then every single day, people are able to create new teams, be able to race to the finish line. If you make it there, you and your entire win just like win this gigantic prize pool that
Okay.
we're releasing a couple new seasons. The first season goes live on Thursday. We have a couple surprises. Maybe if you win, you'll go to Abu Dhabi.
Okay, fun.
You'll get F1 tickets. You'll be getting Meteora Med Dhabi tickets, Solana Breakpoint tickets,
Whoa.
Amongst maybe a couple other things that
Okay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
let me
give a
make
little
sure
bit
I'm
more on that.
understanding.
Yes,
There's every day or every week there's a game.
every day.
Every day.
Twice a day, sorry.
Twice a day there's a game. Okay. And
a
there's
day.
4 teams. And the teams are cars.
Yes.
So it's like, is it a ticker? Is the team a ticker?
The team is a ticker as well.
Okay. So it's like ticker Ferrari.
Ticker, yes,
Okay.
we do have the ticker Ferrari. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
For some reason, it's the one that people like quite a bit.
I get
Instead
that.
of Lambo, which is interesting.
And you have a ticker Lambo?
No, instead of Lambo.
Oh, instead of Lambo.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is interesting because we had the Lambo meme for a while.
Okay.
The brand of Ferrari's strong.
Strong.
It,
It's
it,
strong.
it might be
brand.
stronger.
Charles
Yeah.
Leclerc is doing a lot for it. Okay, so you have a ticker Ferrari.
Yeah.
I could join the team
You
with
can
my
join,
ticket.
join in, or you can also launch a team as well. Oh, sorry. If you have the Solana Grand Prix ticket, you can then launch a team.
Okay.
So the NFTs allow you to launch a team. So
Okay.
they are actually functional in that manner. They're not going for like one soul, just Magic
Okay.
Eden. People want to be able to launch a teams because they also get an extra. If your team wins, you get 10% of the prize pool just by being the creator of the team.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just to clarify, I really want to make sure I'm understanding this.
sure.
Is this like a Mario Kart situation?
It is. It is
Okay,
a
so the
very Mario
cars-
Kart.
But the Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Mario.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mario.
I guess I've never said that out loud
Mariano.
before.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
But the way that you win is the market cap.
The market cap of the.
So you're not racing cars.
No, you're
No.
racing the market cap.
You're raising the market cap. Yeah. In the
Okay.
exact same way that you would speed up.
Dina was imagining.
No, literally, I'm like at a
like
console
actually
driving.
trying to.
You gotta win.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not that.
Okay.
But there are mini games that you. So within the 1 hour races, there are mini games, such as, I don't know, maybe like, oh, I forget that game where you draw a map with your finger
Okay.
and you cannot leave the boundaries. So if you're able to complete that mini game, like in Mario Party, right, you get a nitro boost.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
if you get enough nitro boosts, then maybe your car team doesn't have to be the most valuable one, but it can be the one where you and your team coordinated the most, such that then you're able to get to the finish line faster.
Okay, so we're not driving, but the cars are being powered by the market caps of the teams,
Plus
and that
the minigame.
is plus the mini games.
The mini games, yeah. If you're really good, if you're a good gamer, then maybe you can win against a coin that has 10 times the market cap.
Okay, and
Right.
then the market cap is people just trading against that team, or are they
Yeah, just trading the team's coin, right?
trading the team's coins? And so the market cap is going. If people are thinking that okay, this team is doing good, I'm gonna get involved in that coin.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
That
I think
makes the
it's
market
like
cap
the
go up.
challenge is who can run up the market cap the fastest.
Who can run up the
In that
market
1
cap
hour
faster
period.
in that 1 hour period.
Okay.
And also there is
Fun.
another
Really fun.
counter. There's another counter incentive. Like maybe someone has run up the market cap to like 1 mil, right? and it's like 1,000 people. So then that 1,000 people will win the prize pool equally, right?
Okay.
At the very end of the race. You could theoretically, at the very last minute, just leave that team, hijack a smaller car, and then run that one up. So then you're depreciating the leading car, and then you're pumping the even smaller one that is easier to pump, right?
Okay.
Just because it's quintessentially smaller.
There's some strategies here. There's some strategies.
Yeah. And then you can just win a lot more just by yourself.
Okay. 4 teams every day.
Yeah.
2 games a day.
2 games a day.
1 hour each game.
1 hour each game. Yes.
How long is Racer.fun going to happen? How many?
The season 1 is 7 days.
7 days.
But we'll see how the 7 days go. I think that people are already excited being able, even just by being able to trade the NFTs. Like we haven't seen that much NFT volume in general for a while.
I'm like, what's an NFT?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's a very deep philosophical question, actually. Yeah, it's very spiritual. Actually.
At this point, it is. Yeah.
I have heard Gwyneth Paltrow ask me what is an NFT, and it's been quite interesting, But yeah, I think that
you'll see how it goes for the 7 days.
We'll see how it goes for the 7 days, but I mean, there's always plans for like season 2. Like, you can just release new mini games, you can release new nitros. We already we did some collaborations with Team at Meteora, Jupiter. We made some collabs with the teams at Magic Eden. So right now, I feel like there's a lot more community buy-in that happened even just over the past 2-3 weeks. So we can always, there's a new app out there that wants us to add them as a mission. We can add a Boys Club mission specific thing as well.
Okay. Boys Club car.
And it's on Solana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boys Club car, it's a Subaru.
like if you enter.
I love that.
Yeah. If you enter Boys Club code, you can get like 25,000 fuel points and whatnot. Which it is sizable, I will say.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a
it's
Racer
as much
NFT.
as we gave to Meteora.
I have a Racer NFT, right?
Yeah.
That's what we telegrammed about?
Yes.
Okay. And so on Thursday, I go to Racer.fun and log in with my wallet.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been a while, honestly. And then I can choose what team to join.
You can either launch a team or you can choose what team to join. Yeah.
I think you should start a Boys Club team.
A Boys Club team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Subaru team.
Yeah.
A jacked up Subaru. And then I launch a team. I'm just really wanting to win some money. So I'm really trying to understand here. Okay. So I launch a team. And then I go to all my Boys Club girlies and I say, buy Ticker Subaru.
Yeah. You hit up the buy Ticker Subaru, you hit up Wintermute, you tell them, hey, Wintermute, please run this up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
pull in every favor that you can.
There's some market maker moves to be had.
There's some insider trading to be had.
It is a few thousands, right? It feels it will be sizable.
Okay.
So yeah,
the prize pool you're speaking to.
The prize pool, yeah.
Okay.
And the trading. Like if I launch the team, I get 10% of the.
You get 10% of the total jackpot at the end of the hour. Yeah.
Okay. And so where is the size pool? Where is that money coming from?
We're fronting that.
You're fronting that.
Labs. Yeah.
Okay.
We're fronting that, and it will be given to you back on the main in-game ticker.
Okay.
We're launching one specifically for the game.
Okay.
So then in the exact way that, let's say, Pump accrues the fees, technically accrues the fees, and also has a buy and burn mechanism from everyone launching a Pump fund, maybe that can be recreated for a video game. Maybe
there's a lot of layers. Yeah. There's a lot of layers.
In the exact way that Sora allows you to launch every single post on Sora is technically a token, and then the fees also go back, accrue value back to the main Sora token. You can maybe recreate a mechanism of Solana, which no one has actually launched or improved on. There are some things that you can make such that it can be a little bit more, you can incentivize usage a lot more.
Okay. Wow. Fun. Okay. What is .fun?
What is .fun? .fun Labs is the development company behind Racer.fun.
Are you involved with .fun?
I am there now with being the director of Nitro, meaning growth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that over the past couple of years, I've become very acquainted and very close with quite a few people in the Solana ecosystem. So it's been very fun to actually put all of that to use. I didn't realize that, queening now does lead to good BD and growth. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so Racer.fun.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
On Thursday.
But you could buy an NFT right now.
you can buy the NFT right now. You can sell your NFT right now. I much recommend holding on to it if you have it already, because I have gotten some crazy DMs of being like, hey, can I mint right now? And I was like, no, actually, it's minted out.
It's minted out.
I think mine,
minted out.
you sent me something and it minted out before I was able to get it.
You didn't get yours?
I was having some phantom issues. So
Phantom issues.
shout
Well,
out
I
to
have a new
Phantom.
computer and I actually got it and I was like, oh, I need to go home. I need to go home and get my other computer so that I can mint this. And then I did that night.
Oh, good for you.
I got it.
Good for you.
I got it. I think I got it. Now I'm scared.
We can give one honorary.
Okay, thank you.
one
I
if you
appreciate
want.
that. I appreciate that. I really, it was not for lack of trying.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was just funny because we did sideline random communities that would have been good to have. Like, I won't say like which app on Solana, but I had to text them earlier today telling them, hey, you can no longer post about this, but we'll give you extra field points.
oh wow,
Yeah.
okay, you're laying down the law.
Yeah. No, because you cannot, like, we're not just randomly going to mint more NFTs, right?
Yeah,
I think
totally.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so season 1 starts Thursday, potential 7 days. Potentially there'll be a season 2 TBD. Okay. And anything else you want to share about how people can get into it, get involved?
Just follow Racer_labs.
Oh, you're going to put the helmet on?
Should I put this on?
The
oh my
reveal.
gosh, you're so right. So every single ticker is also, every single Solana Grand Prix ticket is also an NFT that is revealing itself today.
Okay.
So you will have your own profile pic on the game.
Oh, okay.
And
So, okay.
that profile pic also has a rarity. The more rare your
Okay.
NFT is, the faster the card that you can launch.
Oh, cool.
okay, wow.
Fun. Okay. So I'm just repeating everything back. So
Oh, good. No worries.
I got the Grand
There's
Prix
a lot of
ticket.
stuff.
We got a gamer
Yeah.
girl on
I
our
got
hands
a
here.
Grand Prix ticket.
Yeah.
That Grand Prix ticket today reveals an additional NFT.
It reveals that it transforms into the NFT. Yeah.
Okay. And that has some rarity involved in it. That rarity will play into Subaru's speed.
Exactly.
Ticker
Yes.
Subaru's speed.
Ticker Subaru's speed. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Amazing.
Bunny, always such a pleasure to have you on.
Of course.
You are so much fun. I can't wait to play with you. I hope we win a lot, and I hope that I learn something also.
Of course. No, I'm always happy to be in here.
Great.
Thanks,
Okay.
Bunny. We have Mina Fahmi here, who is the founder of Sandbar, which is an interface and hardware company, right?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. We're going to be talking about the Stream and Stream Ring today, which is an AI wearable. I see a very cute little box. I'm hoping that there's something in there. And you went to MIT. Previous startup was acquired by Meta. Congratulations. Smart guy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you. Okay, so I was exposed to you and what you're building at a launch event that you guys threw here in New York. It was beautiful. I really respect when I go to something and it's like a chic experience. I was like, okay, I'm paying attention. I'm tuning into what's happening here. And also saw a live demo of your product and was really genuinely like impressed with. We've seen a lot of AI wearables.
It's really hard to impress her, I will say. Very hard, especially it is.
Yeah.
And she called me right after your event and was like, you gotta tap into these guys at Sandbar. They're doing something really cool.
Really cool.
So that's
And
high praise.
High praise, totally. And I think like I want to talk about your product. I want to talk about what you're building, but I think you have a very unique perspective on what's happening in hardware right now. It's sort of having a renaissance. It's having its moment. And we have, the friend AI, we have the humane pin situation. What's your POV on like the macro moment of hardware right now in tech?
Yeah, I feel like it's.
Can you put them up? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's exciting in a really rare and new way. I think a lot of things are converging where for a while, if you wanted to build new hardware, the most interesting thing you could do was try to replace the phone because there wasn't like much more you could really propose that wasn't just a gadget. Whereas when LMs came around, suddenly you could do all kinds of interesting things. You could talk to a machine, you could look at things in your environment and understand it better. And at the same time, the ability to rapidly prototype overseas became way faster and way higher quality. So, anyone with a computer who wanted to design their idea and ship it off to a fab could do it in like a few weeks. There are still parts of it that are excruciatingly hard.
I can imagine.
Like we're, working with a tier 1 manufacturer, and we had to like negotiate with them for well over a year in order to land that contract.
Okay.
But unless you're trying to go for something like that, getting started is, I think, both a lot easier, and there's a lot more interesting things that you can do.
Okay, so tell us about the ring.
Yeah, so this is the Stream Ring, and we think of it as the mouse for voice because it allows you to hold, speak, and release. And if you have earbuds in or your phone's open, you can hear a response from what we call your stream or your self extension. So we have this nice little Sandy companion app, and if I try speaking into it, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You out walking right now?
No, I'm actually in like a podcast studio, which I didn't know existed. I mean, I live like a few blocks from here, and I had no idea.
That's funny how something like that can be hiding in plain sight. What brought you into the studio?
We're talking about you, actually. Can you maybe explain a little bit about why your voice was designed to sound a little bit like me?
Yeah, so the idea was that I'd feel like a natural extension of your own thinking. If I sounded too different, it'd feel like talking to someone else. And
Wow, honestly, live demos make me so nervous. Like the whole time, I'm just like, I hope it works. I hope it works. I hope it works. And obviously it does. But it's like, yeah, it's so. What I have seen with this AI device more than any other one that I've seen is that I see it and I'm like, oh, I can imagine myself doing that. Where when I saw the AI pen or the Humane pen, I was just like, that I'm in space. And like, I don't want to be in space. Like, I just want to be here in my life and be more efficient.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's sort of what you're designing for. But I'm curious, like, as you, like, what do you use it for? Like day to day?
Yeah, I think it started from like a very practical challenge I had, which was like I walk everywhere or I city bike. And sometimes I'll think about like an essay that I want to write, or like before I was working on Sandbar, I was thinking about company ideas, and I would either want to riff about them or save them into like my Apple Notes. And doing both of those things was really effortful, because if I wanted to riff about it, I would either, need to try ChatGPT voice mode and be shouting into my earbuds or like texting on my phone. And same thing with Apple Notes, where I'd have to pull it out and navigate. And this, in many ways, lets you do everything related to talking through and saving ideas while staying in the moment, which, again, now for me is like mostly company stuff, but it's also like, I just went on that date. How do I feel about that? Or I'm going to go on a trip this weekend. I want to like save some to-dos of things I need to pick up beforehand. So Stream is half conversational partner and half notes app.
I have a question. Stream is the app.
Yes.
Stream Ring is, and that's like the interface. And then the ring is obviously the ring.
Yes. Yeah,
okay. So when you talk
exactly.
about that, and then is Stream something that I could use if I don't have the ring?
So if you lose it, you can still interact through the phone. But we found that being able to have it at your fingertips and whisper and hold changes it quite a lot.
Okay.
Are you pressing a button, or like what's the act that you're
Yeah,
doing
actually,
with it?
I can pass around.
Oh.
So these are some
fun.
prototypes, and then this is what it'll look like when it finally ships.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Cool.
And so there's a little
Okay.
capacitive touch surface
Okay.
here and a little motor inside. So whenever you
Okay.
hold it, you feel a little click sensation.
Can I hold it?
So that one
Okay,
isn't
this is a prototype.
running, but
And then is this the mic?
yes,
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're like that.
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you hold this one,
Okay.
and then if you hold the surface, you should feel a little vibration.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh, wow. 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 Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay. And then you're saying this is the mic.
On the other side.
This is the mic.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
And this is what you're speaking into.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
really cool. Beautiful. What are they going to go for?
So the silver will go for $249.
Okay.
And then the gold for $299.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Comparable.
That's way cheaper than I
Yeah,
thought
me
in
too.
my head.
Me too.
Okay, so as you've been designing this and thinking about what I personally really like about the way that you guys have positioned it is it's not like this is a companion. I think people could use it that way if they wanted, and obviously like what he was saying back to you was like, I'm similar to you, like I've been designed to feel like an extension of yourself, as opposed to like I'm talking to a friend. And I'd love to sort of just understand the decision making around that and like what made you decide to go from like to it's an extension as opposed to like Siri, who's like clearly someone else.
I think part of it is that's something I've always cared a lot about. Like most of my background was in neural interfaces and things of that nature because I wanted that feeling of something being part of you. And I remember when ChatGPT first came out, I saw how the chat bubbles were on opposite sides of the screen. And I was so frustrated by this because I thought it created the illusion of otherness. When I see a lot of, especially the fear outside of tech towards these new machines, especially like in New York, I think a lot of it comes from that sense of otherness, that this thing will replace you or it'll automate your work or take away your relationships. When I think if we treat it as something that is fully under our control, that you can interrupt just by tapping, that isn't soaking up all of your ambient surroundings, you can achieve a relationship that is very productive and useful without the social consequence.
What has the response been from people who aren't in tech?
I think really encouragingly positive.
Great.
We were, building kind of quietly for 2 years, but we would wear the devices and prototypes outside freely. And I'll share it with my barista. I'll share it with, whenever I'm getting clothes. And I often hear people say this is the first thing they've seen that they could imagine themselves using.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of that for me at least is like it doesn't feel like a surveillance device.
I do want to talk about that though.
Yeah.
What's the privacy? What's the, like, how is it encoded? Like, what's the surveillance-ishness around it?
So it's really designed just to pick up like what's right ahead of it. So you can whisper and it'll hear you really clearly, even in really loud environments. All your data is encrypted, like in transit and at rest. We're not going to be looking at your interactions. It's
Because
really,
it's encrypted at a device level?
it's encrypted, I think, where the data sits, which isn't always on the ring itself. If
Okay.
you can imagine, like this doesn't have much storage to save
Yeah.
anything on it really. But it's not like an ambient recording device that's like saving all the ambient audio and information.
It's only happening when it's only listening when you're tapping it.
Yes, and,
Okay.
and when you bring it up, like you have to be speaking straight into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you've thought a lot about this topic in hardware, and I'm curious, like, what in 5 years, in 10 years, like, what do you think the like modality of these will be? Like, do you think it'll be continue to be wearables? Do you think it'll be things that are implanted? Like, where do you think we're headed? And maybe 5 to 10 years is too soon, but I think like, what is the future of this type of device and the way that we engage with it look like?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think for a lot of my life, I was incredibly interested in neural interfaces, and I still am. But I've seen a lot of time and effort poured into things that are maybe logical from like a cold systems perspective of saying, how do we optimally design the human machine cyborg? And I guess not as much attention paid to what's beautiful and what feels good to use like in a normal everyday existence. For example, a really like counterintuitive benefit of having this here is that when you're interacting, you're partially covering your mouth. And it creates like a social signal that lets other people know, hey, I'm doing something private right now. That doesn't really change. Like since, antiquity, people have been doing this gesture when they're thinking, or they cover their mouths when they're trying to speak quietly. And so I could see something like this persisting for a very long time. At the same time, while we think this solves voice interactions, it clearly doesn't solve every part of human-computer interaction. It doesn't solve vision. It doesn't solve maybe other things you might want to be doing in a productivity context or in a home context. So there are other devices we're experimenting with and that we'd like to build, but we're not yet sure, okay, well, this is the next thing we're going to continue seeing in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Do you feel nervous as a founder, like on a business level, that Johnny Ive and Sam Altman are looking at what you're doing and looking at what you're shipping and being like, yeah, great, we'll do that, except at like 1,000x more resourced? Like, do you get nervous about that from that type of competitor?
It's a good question. I feel like over the past few years, like most competitive fear has been burned out of me.
I respect that.
I think in practice, it's very rare for a company to be doing the exact same thing as another company. There are very different priorities. I would say Sandbar is the only company, I think, focused exclusively on human augmentation. We aren't trying to create autonomous entities that are performing the work of humans. We're not trying to persist existing business interests. We're just trying to make it easier for people to express what they're thinking in the moment and hopefully feel more freedom in doing so, which I expect will lead us to a very different path.
Do you think that as people are using it, or I guess is it designed for as people are using it and their content is in stream and you have these different sort of like notes and to-do lists and reflections and things like that, is that going to become like a personal LLM that's then, I don't know, feeding you recommendations, or what's the end state of like it learning about you, I guess?
Yeah, it's funny. I find that Stream knows more about me than basically any other product I use.
Okay.
Because since the friction to input is so low,
yeah,
I share so much. A lot of that is the form factor, but a lot of that is how we designed Stream to be really good at asking questions, really good at providing helpful information and doing that in a non-parasocial way without like an identity of its own. And we're really interested in giving people flexibility to use that context that they've built into Stream across wherever they want. Because if you think of Stream as an extension of you that holds all of these ideas and in-the-moment thoughts, that design philosophy would imply that you should have autonomy over where that memory and information gets moved.
Okay.
So that's more of like an aspirational goal where we haven't perfectly figured out, okay, well, this is the format that you'll be able to move things, but it's definitely something we aspire to.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. We have a few more minutes here. I have Reggie introduced us. I think I've looked at your work online. Like, you're a very creative person. Like, I think you think a lot about storytelling and design. Do you think of hardware as like a medium? Like, are you thinking about these devices as, like a new way of being in the world? And then also in that question, like when people are thinking about a hardware device or they're thinking about an extension of themselves, like what should they be considering when looking at these different products and deciding like what makes sense for them?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think there are like at least two things that are really important to me. One is considering a device in social context. Like a wearable quite specifically is jewelry, and I think it should make you feel good to wear, both as a projection of your own preferences and style, as well as something that people around you would enjoy to be around. And sometimes I find that kind of lacking, and it's something that I think living in New York has like very softly beaten into me is the importance of that detail. I think the other thing is to remember that hardware doesn't matter very much in isolation. We call ourselves an interface company and not a hardware company and not a software company because hardware and software are a means to an ends. And to us, that ends is interfacing you to things that are important, helping you interface your thoughts out into the world, or all the other kinds of things that Stream can support. And so I think hardware is exciting because it gives you something physical to latch on to, but in order for a product to be successful, it actually needs to be useful as part of the whole system and not just like a gadget that you leave on a counter.
Yeah. Are we going to get like necklaces and earrings, or do you think you'll stick with ring?
I think we're really excited about the ring, but we're also going to be exploring other form factors, as long as like it helps people do useful things.
Yeah. Nice.
Are you guys based in New York?
We are. We're in Flatiron, and I live like a few blocks away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What, you seem like a very thoughtful person, and I just really, that's so cool. And you're a really nice person to be around. And I'm like, wow, what a great energy he has. What inspires you in your work?
I think that's a thoughtful question. Thanks. I think like this philosophy of technology as an extension of oneself has been extremely important to me ever since like I was very, very young. And that motivates me to continue trying to express that in the world. Like one note I once saved to myself through Stream, I remember I was looking through them before this, was like, Sandbar is a philosophical text. It's an expression of a belief. I find close friends incredibly inspiring. Building a company is like an excruciating journey.
Yeah.
And I'm just like so humbled by people who continually show up at the low points and are there to like provide a perspective or a presence or a belief that like what you're doing is good. It's like incredibly motivating to do it with people who believe in you.
Yeah. I love that answer. Okay, so you guys are open for pre-orders, right?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have an estimated shipping, like when people would expect to receive? Okay.
Yes, we're shipping summer 26.
Okay, cool. So exciting.
December 26th?
Summer.
Summer 26th.
Yes.
Summer 26th.
Thankfully soon.
I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Specific. Okay. Yeah. Summer 26th. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. So excited.
you.
Love what you're building.
Thank you for coming.
Maybe I'll buy one.
I know. I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to hit the pre-order.
Yeah, totally.
I
Okay,
usually
great.
bring parting gifts to people.
Oh, great. I can. Okay, you got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Yeah, great being on.
Cool. Okay, that's our show this week. Join us live on Twitter every Wednesday at noon. Or here, I guess.